What's up, FOA squad? I'm Anthony and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Happy whatever day I get to post this video for you guys. It is time for our monthly Q&A, and I plan on doing these Q&As on the first of every month. If I'm able to, if not the next available day that I'm able to post the Q&A videos. Alright, so let's get right into it. Got a lot of good questions. I'm amazed at how each Q&A I get some questions that I was never asked before. So let's get right into it. The first question is from Hurt1704, and Hurt asks, what do you do for storms living in your camper? Does the campground have a shelter? The campground does not have a shelter, and last year when Hurricane Milton came through, it was around about the time that we were going on our cruise in October. So I got a hotel for a week in Fort Lauderdale, and after that week was over, it was time for me to go to the hotel in Miami for the cruise where everybody was meeting. So moving forward, I'm going to try not to be in the Florida area during the hurricane season. Now, unfortunately, this year I will be down in September because I go on another and my final trip of the year, my final international trip of the year in September going into October. So I will be down here during that period of time. Now, hopefully nothing will happen in terms of hurricanes, and I will be able to fly out of Miami and go to Italy in September, the end of September, and get back in Miami after the trip is over with without any hurricane interruptions or weather interruptions. So that is what I do. I'm going to just, you know, if I happen to be in Florida and I'm not going anywhere and the weather, hurricane weather hits, I'm just going to go and stay at a hotel for a couple days until it passes by. Excuse me. All right, my next question is from Kathy Farmer 1763. What's up, Kathy? How you doing? Hope all is well. And Kathy asks, if you was to live outside of the U.S., where would it be and why? I cannot answer that question, and the reason why I can't answer that question is because whenever I go out of the country or go anywhere on a trip, I go as a tourist, not as a resident. So I don't go to these different countries looking into what it's like to live there and how much it costs to live there and those types of questions. I go strictly as a tourist. So I never looked into any of the countries that I have been to so far as a place that I would go and live. Because you certainly can base your tourist visits on going there and living there permanent, you know, because you don't know about the neighborhoods, you don't know about, you know, different things that you should research when you're considering moving to another country. So I really don't know. I mean, if I was to seriously consider moving out of the country, I would just do a lot of research and different countries, and I would go to that country and I would visit that country from a different perspective other than a tourist perspective. So I don't know. Kathy. The next question is from Karen for Water, and Karen for Water asked, on your road trips, what do you like to do? Ride in silence, sing to the radio, audio books on the radio, or talk to friends? I am definitely a ride in silence type of road tripper. I feel like it's an opportunity for me to be in my head and my thoughts, and I like the silence of it. Now, if I get tired of the silence, which rarely happens, I will either do what you guys saw me on several videos, a sing along just to have fun and break the monotony up of the silence, or I will play some music, but I usually only play it for maybe 20-30 minutes. I'll play a couple of my favorite songs that I have on my playlist, and I'll be done with that. But never have I ever listened to music the whole way long. I just prefer the silence, and I like it that way. All right, the next question is from Lulu Shondas. Lulu Shondas asks, what's the one thing you would do different if you was to go back to your first YouTube video? What is the one thing that I would do different if I was to go back to my first YouTube video? I think one of the things that I would change is how personal I am on my channel, on the channel. I should say our channel. I said my channel. How personal I am. Well, speaking of this, man, how personal I am on the channel. Even though the channel is about my life, I feel like if I was to, or had a chance to go back, I would be personal, but I wouldn't be as personal. I would allow you guys to get to know me, but I wouldn't put out as much as I have put out. People are very judgmental, and people have their certain ideas and thoughts of how you should be living your life and the things that you should do. So I wouldn't be as personal, but I would put out enough information and for you guys to, get to know me. I wouldn't be all closed in and calling it a personal channel, because this is a personal channel. It is about my personal life. I do share some things like me going to the dentist and getting my teeth pulled and things of that nature that a lot of other YouTubers who have so-called personal channels don't share. So I do think that I would kind of hone that down a little bit. Other than that, I'm quite sure I can think of some other things if I think about it, but that's what comes to mind after reading that question. Okay, the next question comes from LaShawn F9813. LaShawn F9813. How do you prepare your taxes? Did you find a tax preparer who specializes in social media? I did not. The first time that I filed my YouTube taxes, I was still in PA, and I went to my regular tax person, who at that time I had gone to 2 years prior to filing my YouTube taxes, and she just did her thing. At first, to me, she looked like she was kind of feeling her way through the process. Then the second year I went to her, I felt like she knew better of how to approach it, and she did it a lot quicker. And it does take a little bit of time because I have to give her all of my write-offs, and she has to categorize those and put them in the computer, etc., etc. But I didn't seek out any special tax preparers that specializes in social media. She actually told me that she also does the tax from somebody who makes a living out of going to casinos and winning. I thought that was quite interesting. So I think she had a little bit of an idea of how to approach the situation, or the social media situation, or the non-traditional ways that people are making money at like a casino. But and then I got here in Florida, and the third time that I filed with a new tax preparer, and she seemed like she kind of knew what she was doing as well, even though I didn't get the result that I wanted to get, that I got in the past 2 years. My goodness, I was stunned, shocked. But hopefully she will, have a better feeling for this next tax season. Alrighty. Just Melissa asks, now, Just Melissa is, in about 2 months, Melissa is going to be buying a travel trailer, and she's going to be starting her RV chapter in her life. And Melissa would like to know if there's any advice that I can give her for shopping for a travel trailer. Now, Melissa, there are 3 pieces of advice that I'm going to give you and anybody else who is thinking of purchasing a travel trailer for full-time or part-time. And those 3 things are, Melissa and everybody else. The first thing is, I would definitely get a travel trailer that has electric stabilizers. You want to be able to push a button, and your stabilizers come from underneath your trailer onto the ground. Or at least have a manual crank that you can hook onto a lug nut and crank it, and your stabilizers come down onto the ground and you can take it back up. This trailer that I have now is manual. I have to get on my knees on 4 sides and get under there and manually pull my stabilizers down. It's the worst part that I like about this trailer. The absolute worst. I'm like, who makes a trailer that you have to get under there and pull each of the stabilizers down? I mean, how difficult would it have been to at least giving you a manual cranker? So that's the first thing. I mean, and it would be nice is if you get an electric one, that you're still able to use a manual crank just in case the electric fails at any given time. You can still crank it manually. So that's the first piece of advice. My second piece of advice for Melissa and everyone else is, please, Melissa, please get a travel trailer with a separate shower and toilet. If you're planning on using your shower, no matter how often, if you're planning on using your shower at any given point, please get a travel trailer that has a separate shower and a separate toilet. That shower is not the normal size trailer bathroom. That bathroom, I should say, is not the normal size bathroom that any size human being would be able to shower in comfortably. And I know they say that these travel trailers are meant for weekend use and this, that, and the other, but that's just not a normal size. I mean, you're fighting for space with the toilet, with the 2 hot and cold nozzles in your back. If you're, it's just not. You get more space, Melissa and everybody, if you have a separate shower. So that's the second thing. The third and final thing, Melissa and everybody else, is get dedicated spaces. Get a travel trailer that has a permanent bed, because you don't want to be, especially if this is going to be your full-time way of living, you don't want to have to keep putting your bed up, taking your bed down, putting your bed up, taking your bed down. You don't want to do that. Get a trailer that has a permanent bed, a permanent dinette, and a permanent couch. And the reason why I say the couch is because you're going to have a lot of days with bad weather and you're going to have to be in your trailer for a long period of time. You want a comfortable place to sit. Now, your dinette might do that for you, but options. You know, you might want to sit at the dinette. You might want to sit on the couch. You know, when you cook in the kitchen area is going to be the kitchen area. You're probably not going to find the perfect kitchen area where you got all this counter space and yada yada yada. So to me, that's something that I would personally would sacrifice over having a separate dinette, a separate bed, and a separate couch. I don't have a separate couch in here because I took the couch out to put this nice table that I have here, and it serves as, you know, my dining table or whatever. But if I was to ever buy another RV or travel trailer, it would definitely have those 3 designated areas. So that is my advice. Everything else to me is, you know, you can work around. You know, people go in there and they want all this storage and all this, you know. As long as you have a place to put your clothes, consider that, Melissa and everybody. You have to have a place to put your clothes, you know, your clean clothes and your dirty clothes. Other than that, every other storage amount of space that you have is you work around it, you know. But those 3 things, I would definitely advise you to get in a trailer. All right, so the next question comes from Beverly Williams. And Beverly question, okay, I'm going to paraphrase it. Beverly is a denture wearer as well, and she asked me if I have trouble with the paste once I remove my dentures. Do I have trouble with all the remaining paste that's on my gums? Yes, I do, Beverly. And let me tell you, it is the worst. It is the worst. I don't like it at all because sometimes it's like long pieces hanging down and I got to take a napkin and pull them down, pull it out, and then you got it all up in your gums. It's the worst part of wearing dentures. All up in your gums and everything. And I'm not even going to make the sounds that you make to try to get it. It's Beverly, I feel your pain, but I do not have any solutions for you because it's something that I go through myself every day. I'll put my dentures in. Well, I don't put them in every day, and that's probably one of the reasons why I don't put them in every day, because of that. Now, Beverly, my top is worse than the bottom. The bottom is not nowhere near as bad as the top, but the top, it's the worst, Beverly. I'm sorry, Beverly, but I don't have any solution because I'm still struggling with that as well when I take my dentures out. The best thing, it melts off in time because your mouth is warm on the inside and eventually it melts off. But when you first take them out, it's still like a clunk of it there, and it's the worst. I'm sorry, Beverly. If you find a solution, let me know, but I have no solution to that whatsoever. I usually will just take a paper towel. I'll tell you what else I do too, Beverly. I take one of my flosses. Because the napkin is not going to do it all the time. I take one of my flosses and I scrape it against the top of my gums, and I get it off, and you get stuff a little napkin and wipe it on the napkin. Get it off. And if you're not a denture wearer and this is kind of grossing you out, guess what? This is life for those of us who wear dentures and have to deal with that after effect of having that paste on your gums. So if you floss, Beverly, try doing that. That's the best advice, only advice I can give you. I do that to try to get as much of it off as possible. And it works, but it is what it is as a denture wearer. All right, the next question is from Latanya Woodard. Do you ever see snakes when you're outside taking a shower? I do not. I have only saw, they have black snakes on this campground. And last year I saw like that multicolored snake, but I never saw it again. But usually when I see a snake, it's the black snakes. And so far this year, I've seen 3 of them. And here's the thing. I'm not afraid of the snakes like I was last year. Last year when I see one, I was like, mainly because they catch you by surprise. But I saw 3 of them on my site so far this year. And it didn't even bother me because you know what? I stomped my feet. I made pretend I was going towards it, and it slithered off so quick. Those things are fast, boy. They slither really fast into the grass section. Not grass, but whatever, the tree section. But I'm not afraid of the snakes like I was last year. I mean, unless I turn around like I'm working out there and I turn around and it's like right there next to me, and then I will probably poop my pants. But if I see them in advance, they don't bother me at all. And I'll tell you something else that doesn't bother me, that bothered me last year, are the frogs. Now last year, y'all know I had 2 stories about the frogs inside the trailer. They jumped on my head, they jumped on my back. I made videos about that. This year, they don't seem to bother me or freak me out as much as they did last year. I saw a frog on my door a couple of days ago on the outside. I mean, I just looked through the door, happened to glance over and saw the frog there. So I tapped on the door to try to see if the frog would move. It wouldn't move. So I opened the door and hurry up and went out and shut the door. The frog still was standing on the door. I said, I don't know what's with these frogs. You got to actually just like swat them for them to even move. That frog still stayed on the door. Even with the movement of the door opening and closing, the frog didn't even move. But they don't bother me like they did. Now, so far this year, only 1 frog was inside of something, and it wasn't my trailer. it was a frog inside of my truck camper. And I'm so glad that I happened to be going in my refrigerator to get something, and I'm so happy I saw that frog, because I can't imagine me going up the road and stopping somewhere and going to sleep for the night and a frog jump on me in that trailer, in that little camper. Oh my God, I will poop my pants again. But I saw it, and it was a little difficult to get it out. I had to take everything out of my truck camper because the frog kept on hiding behind things. So I took everything out of the truck camper and took a broom and swatted it out and put everything back. But it didn't I wasn't startled or anything like, oh my God, the frog is in here. I wasn't even like that. I was like, okay, little buddy, look, you got to go. You got to go. But no snakes in the shower. And even if it's I would see the snake before I even walk into the shower. I mean, or any other insect or whatever. And it's insects just don't sit there. I mean, if I was to turn the water on, they would run or do whatever. They're not gonna stay in there and take a shower with me. They're gonna haul. You know what? Wouldn't that be something though? They like, oh, I need a shower too. I'm gonna stay here. All right, the next question is from Kenya 9540. What's up, Kenya? How are you? I hope all is well. Kenya asks, now that you have a beautiful shower, do you shower more often? Yes, yes, yes. I have been showering every day, Kenya. Every single day, unless it's raining all day and and I can't go out to the shower. It is so convenient to just walk out of my trailer door, walk a couple of steps, and take a nice shower, and a nice, decent sized shower, not like this little tiny shower in here. I have definitely been appreciating and using that shower. So I do. I take showers like every day now. All right, this next one is from Clover HP. Clover HP asks, brown or blue? Brown or blue? I like the brown and blue combination. I am a big fan of the brown and blue combination. The rug that I have on my, floor now is a combination of brown, blue, and a little black. I have had curtains that had brown and blue combinations. I've had bedspreads that were brown and blue combinations. I love that brown and blue combination. But if I had to choose one individually, I would definitely say the blue. And I say blue because I like the different shades of blue more so than the different shades of brown. So definitely blue. Okay, the next question is from the Velvet Lounge Life. Hey, long time OG. What is going on, Velvet Lounge Life? I hope everything is well with you as well. All right, if you book on your own, talking about the cruise, if you book on your own, would you be able to participate? I'm glad that someone asked this question because I was going to talk about it at the beginning of my next video. But let me just talk about it right now briefly. All right, so you are more than welcome to book the cruise on your own. You are. For whatever reason, you don't want to go through a travel agent, you are more than welcome to book the cruise on your own. I had a conversation with V, who I met on the first cruise, and we were dancing together, and then there was a time where she and her husband and Cassie and myself were sitting in the lounge area talking and having a good time. And we had a email exchange conversation, and she asked me the same thing. And I want to make sure that I give the same information out. It might be different now, V, but if it is, I apologize for it. But I did talk to Arvella and clarified everything. So this is going to be the current way things are if you are going to book the cruise on your own. Like I said, you are more than welcome to book the cruise on your own, but the only benefit that you will not be invited to will be the cocktail party. And the reason why you will not be invited to the cocktail party is because you booked on your own. You did not book with the group, so therefore you did not help contribute to us getting that perk of having the cocktail party. So that is the only thing that you would not be able to participate with the group. Now, as far as the meet and greet, as far as the food at the meet and greet, as far as the t-shirts that I'll be giving away again, and as far as eating at the same dining tables as we are, you can and will be able to do all of those things. So if you book on your own, you'll still get a t-shirt. You'll still be invited to the meet and greet. You still can stay at the hotel that we are all staying in and get our rate for that hotel. And you still will be able to dine with us at on the cruise. But here's the thing. To do all of those things, you still need to reach out to Arvella and tell her that you are booking on your own, so that Arvella can put you on the list, number one, because she is handling the list of t-shirts. So if you want a t-shirt, you still have to reach out to Arvella and tell her that you booked on your own, so that she can put you on the list, so she can also include you in our dining and the meet and greet and everything, so that we can have an accurate count of how many people are going to be at the meet and greet. So feel free to book on your own, but you still have to reach out to Arvella and let her know that you did so that she can include you in the other things that you are able to come to and attend and participate with. And that's the only difference. Again, the only thing that you will not be invited to will be the cocktail party, and that's it. Everything else, as long as you call Arvella and let her know that you booked on your own, she'll put you on the list and you can participate in everything else. Now, I do encourage you to go through Arvella, but whatever your reasons might be, it might, whatever it might be, and you don't want to do that, still give her a call. So I hope that answers the few people who might have thought about that and didn't ask. So yeah, you're more than welcome to book on your own. All right, the next question is from Adrian Luoni, Oni, O-N-I. I apologize if I mispronounced that. And they ask, are straight people allowed at Oz or your campground? Asking for a friend. Okay, my advice would be to call whatever campground that friend might be interested in going to and ask them. I am not the spokesperson of these campgrounds. I don't want to put out any false information on these campgrounds. So if your friend is interested in going to any of those campgrounds, I would suggest that they call the campground and get their answer from them. All right, the next question is from Healer for Peace. Healer for Peace. And Healer for Peace asks, do you have any future plans for returning to Hillside? Are you trading up Hillside for the Ohio campground? And Healing for Peace has a seasonal site at Oneida campground, which is the next exit down from Hillside, and they also stated that they see a lot of people from Hillside that goes down to Oneida, and there are people that do that. I know that my friend David at Hillside, he and his partner, who is Latino, they like to go down to Oneida and during Latino weekend and hang out there. So yeah, that happens. As far as Hillside, I think my time with Hillside is done. I think that if I was to go to Hillside again, it will be on my way to Ohio, and I stop at Hillside for a day or so to hang out with my friend David. But as far as me going there and spending like weeks at a time, like I have been in the past, even months at a time, those days is over, and I'll tell you why. There are some campgrounds that I go to and have been going to and been to multiple times, and the vibe has changed from the campground. And Hillside is one of those campgrounds, along with Sawmill down in Dade City, Florida. These two campgrounds, to me, the vibe has changed. And when you go to a campground and you start to get the feeling that the campground owner or the people who are running the campground care more about the business side of the campground than the people side of the campground, I'm not in favor of supporting that campground as much as I used to. Now, as for Sawmill, I will continue to go there, but I will not spend nowhere near as much time as I have in the past there. I will probably go there on an extended weekend, maybe like a Thursday through Sunday or something like that, because my biggest pet peeve about Hillside is that they charge you, when I took my trailer there last year, they charge you for 2 people on a site, even if it's only 1 person on the site. And I don't like that. So instead of me paying $30 per night, I was paying $60 per night at Hillside. I don't like that at all. And I don't think that's fair to charge a single person that price for a site. I don't. Now, as for Sawmill, I've noticed that their prices have gone up, and the site that I used to stay at, or I stayed at, or was like $35 per night. Now it's $47 per night. And that's the section where the van section, where people can stay in their van or whatever. They have 4 sites dedicated for that. And that's gone up. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that, or so I have different feelings for those 2 campgrounds, and so I probably will not be going back to Hillside, sadly enough. Like I said, if I do, it will be for a day or 2 to visit my friend David. I like the campground in Ohio. I really like that campground because the 2 couples that own and run that campground are doing a great job. I don't feel like they're all about the business, all about making money. They allowed me to maneuver or manipulate my time because of what's going on with the truck, and not have me lose my money or lose my time. So they work with me, and we reorganize my time there so that I can get all of my time that I already paid for. Now, other campgrounds, if this truck business was going on and it was close to me being there, and I called them, they would tell me that, if you don't call and change within if you don't cancel within 7 days, you lose your money, this, that, and the other. They don't give you the option of rearranging. I don't have time for that, and those are not the type of business that I would like to support ongoing. Like I said, I will go to Sawmill because I do like Sawmill a little bit, but not as much as I used to. But it is the closest campground, or not the closest, the second closest campground to this campground if I want to go and get a different vibe from the campground that I'm on. So, Healer of Peace, I don't think I'll be frequently going to Hillside. Alright, the next question is from Sandra Dummer, or Dummer, D-U-M-M-E-R. What's your plans for the 4th of July? I don't have any plans for the 4th of July. I may be traveling from Florida to Baltimore, depending on what my truck situation is. When I get my truck back, and I'm supposed to get my truck back on Monday, and today is Tuesday, so hopefully at the time I post this video, I will have my truck back. But I want to keep my truck here in Florida for a couple days and ride it around before I take it out on the road, make sure nothing pops up on my dash. And I hope to be leaving to head to Baltimore maybe Friday, the 4th of July, or Saturday. But if I'm happen to be here on the 4th of July, I probably would just go out and watch. I'm quite sure the campground is going to have some fireworks. If I'm in the mood or feel like it, I may go out and just watch the campground fireworks. If not, I'll be on the road on my way to Baltimore. So that I can at least have a couple days in Baltimore before I have to leave on my next trip. because when I come back from the trip, I'll have 1 or 2 days to decide whether I'm going to go up to my sister's retirement party in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm debating whether I want to go. I did tell her that I was coming, but I'm also will see her celebrating it in Italy in September. So we'll see, because I have to be back in be at Ohio on July 23rd. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's Q&A. I chose what I think some pretty good questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, even though it is not one of my most popular videos. I'm going to continue to do those for those of you who do enjoy the Q&As, and for those of you who do not enjoy the Q&As, how about asking some interesting questions that will probably make you enjoy the Q&As a little better? Because I've seen some comments where, I haven't learned anything new about you. Well, how about if you ask something that you would like to know that's new about me? We'll take it from there. But I enjoy doing the Q&As. I know that I will get some different questions, and I enjoy making them, and I'm going to, like I said, continue to make them for those of you who do enjoy the Q&As. Alright, guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. As always, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys, you know that, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I will be on the road and heading up to Baltimore.